Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Blue Golf Ball today from the Pokemon TCG online video, and today I have for you guys a Exeggutor deck, and this deck was proposed to me by DK Quagmire, and the idea was to build a deck around Exeggutor. Kind of based this deck around Ross Cawthon. You guys might have known him. He's a pretty renowned and well-known Pokemon player, so props to Ross for kind of developing this deck and coming up with something very unique, something you don't really see very often. And you might have seen this deck showcased in a variety of different ways, and in forums and videos and in other places. But this is going to be my take on the deck, and who knows? Maybe this would be something you guys would be interested in. But anyways, Exeggutor here is a 100 HP grass type Pokemon, so you already know right off the bat 100 HP is pretty weak, easily knocked out by a lot of different things. But we are weak to grass. We do have water resistance, and the retreat cost is 2, so a little bit troublesome to get him back on the bench. However, the attack blockade here can be pretty good, and this is what most people build the deck around. We can always stomp at some point, but blockade, your opponent can't play any supporter cards from his or her hand during his or her next turn. It only does 10 damage. You can slap a muscle band and it could do 30, but the idea is to lock your opponent from playing any more supporters and kind of just slow the game down. So that's pretty interesting. We do have only a 3-line of execute, and of course I only have 3 of these. But the idea here, and this is kind of an unconventional line with only a 3/4, is that since we have Battle Compressor, it's going to be really easy to get execute out. And even if one gets knocked out, it's really easy to just propagate him back into our hand and play him on the bench and evolve him again in the next turn. So 3 is kind of an interesting number with having 4 line of Exeggutor. So that's pretty interesting. We are having another interesting line here, an unconventional line with 2 Vulpix and 1 Ninetales. And Ninetales has this ability, Bright Look. When you play this Pokemon from your hand, evolve one of your Pokemon, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. Basically, it's like a guaranteed catcher effect or like a Lysander effect. Now, we're playing Ninetales because of that, but it also helps us to be a secondary attacker. Since we're playing Hypnotoxic Laser in this deck, we can use Ninetales to Hex Flame, and it's really good against type weaknesses like metal and grass. So you think about this, since we are weak to fire type, we don't really have any other responses to fire type. Why not play a Ninetales here, since we're using Hypnotoxic Lasers already? And since Exeggutor's blockade is a colorless energy, it wouldn't matter if we play fire energy on it. We will be running a 1/1 line of Dragalge with Poison Barrier. Since we're playing Hypnotoxic Laser, we might as well keep our opponent from retreating. Pretty convenient there. And then we got 1/1 line of Electrode as well for Magnetic Draw, just to help us to draw cards into our hand. We do have a Jirachi in case we need to use Ultra Ball to get Jirachi to do Stellar Guidance to get a supporter. That could be very convenient, or we just discard them, I don't know. Since our executes are very weak, we have Mr. Mime here to do Bench Barrier and protect the bench, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by attacks, aka guys like Landorus, Kyurem, and maybe even Darkrai. Now, in case of a mirror match, or in situations where we kind of need to pull something off quick, we do have Muna here with Long Distance Hypnosis. Once during your turn before your attack, you may flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. If tails, you're asleep. And we're doing that because we're playing Virizion EX. We have one of these to prevent special conditions, a la Verdant Wind here with Grass Energy. We are playing 3 Grass Energies, so it could be pretty helpful with blockade, and then also preventing special conditions. And that way, when we do long distance hypnosis, we don't have to worry about making our own active Pokemon fall asleep, since we can have Verdant Wind, Virizion EX on the bench. Now, that's kind of a thick line of Pokemon here. We have a variety of different types, and it was pretty tough to squeeze everything in, but we'll have to, kind of play around and see what we can do and what kind of situations we can run into. But on with the item cards, we have 3 Battle Compressors just to discard things that we don't need depending on matches, and also execute so we can probably get them back to our hand. We will be having 4 enhanced or Crushing Hammers just to be really annoying, and then we even have a Dow's Machine to potentially get one back. Who knows? 1 Enhanced Hammer, no need to play any more than that. We do have Hypnotoxic Laser, as mentioned before, 4 of those, 1 star on the Megaphone, and a couple of scoop ups here, or we have 1 scoop up. Now, this will be really good for Jirachi. If we start off with a Jirachi, we can actually just play it, and hopefully we flip heads and scoop them back up into our hand, but it also works really well for Ninetales, right? So we can Bright Look, we can scoop up the Ninetales and Bright Look again, so that's also very handy. 3 Ultra Balls to get the Pokemon into your hand. We have VS Seekers to get the supporter cards from the discard pile back into your hand as well. 4 of those, that's a full line right there. 1 AZ, again, this is for potentially using for Jirachi, but mostly for using Ninetales. 1 Lysander's trump card. Then we have 4 Junipers, 1 Team Flare Grunt, and that's it for the supporters. No other Lysander, no Lysander, no N. Very low maintenance on the support line. The idea, too, with the support line is to use Battle Compressor to get a Juniper out into our hand by using VS Seeker. So if all we have is a VS Seeker and Battle Compressor, that's money, because that would be a supporter just in time, right? So we have Verbank City Gym, 3 of those, 3 Muscle Bands just to boost up the attack, 4 Fire Energies, and 3 Grass Energies. That's it for the deck. Let's go ahead and see this Exeggutor deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Okay, looks like we're going against Colo CZ69, and it's a fairy deck. Okay, I wonder if we get to go first, and yes, we do get to go first. That way we can evolve first. And as expected, it is a fairy deck. We see the Lysander, we see Fairy Garden, woo, Mega Gardevoir, 2 of them right there. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna start off. I'm actually gonna start off with a Vulpix. This way we can roar and move our opponents around. With a deck like this against a fairy deck, I'm kind of banking on my opponent not using special conditions. So I'm gonna actually hang on to the Virizion for now. I'm not too sure if I want to play Virizion. But in a scenario like this, I'm actually going to hang on to Mr. Mime as well, right? Until we see a Xerneas EX, we really don't need to play Mr. Mime. So I'm just going to go ahead. We will go with this here, and let's go for a Battle Compressor. What I want to do is bring out probably the Exeggutors, and maybe even a Professor Juniper. That way, if we draw into a VS Seeker, we can just VS Seeker for the Juniper and go on our merry way. So otherwise, we don't really have too many options here. Just taking a look at the deck, and we do have a Ninetales which we use, and we do have both the Super Scoop Up and the AZ, so that's always good as well, and a couple of the Hypnotoxic Lasers. So let's go ahead. We're going to go with that. Let's see. I don't actually need to play the Execute right now, but I'm going to play one anyways in case if we do top deck something. So at this point, might as well play Mr. Mime. You never know when we do see a Xerneas EX, but I highly doubt my opponent plays that. It seems to be just kind of a straight up, Mega Gardevoir deck with Aromatisse and Xerneas. So we should see an energy drop here. My opponent's going to go for Geomancy. There we go. We see a Full Art Gardevoir EX. The Xerneas here is going to be going for the Geomancy. We do see 2 Spirit Links, so if we could have a Star of the Megaphone, that would be great. Otherwise, in the next turn, my opponent can definitely evolve, and we would be in some trouble right here. Both the energies I'd expect to go on to the Gardevoir, and they do. So right about now is about time where we need to shut off my opponent's support. So let's go ahead. We're going to go for Flip for Heads, and we do. I'm actually going to get rid of this one. That way, my opponent doesn't go for another Geomancy. And so let's go ahead. We're going to Propagate back into our hand, and I think what I want to do is discard the Virizion. Might as well and go for the Exeggutor. But actually, I wouldn't mind going for the Jirachi. That way we can get I'd rather get a supporter. So let's go ahead. We're going to get Jirachi right here. We're going to go for supporter. So we're going to play this energy here, and might as well play I'm going to hang on to this Crushing Hammer just for just the heck of it. Let's go ahead. We'll get the Juniper here. That way we can draw into something better, I suppose, and get a hand. And no, we flipped tails for the Crushing Hammers. That is a shame. And there we go. We do get the Exeggutor here, and we even have another Battle Compressor. So what I want to do, so I have 2 VS Seekers. What I want to do is bring out the Team Flare Grunt. That way we can have that 2 VS Seeker back into our hand. Also, I might as well I'm going to bring out another execute. That would be pretty handy for us. Otherwise, I think something else that I might not need as of this moment, maybe even the Lysander's trump card. Don't really want to draw into that either. And gives us the flexibility to Exeggutor back into our hand. So this looks pretty good. I definitely want to get rid of the Enhance Hammer. Don't need to draw into that whatsoever. And let's see, we're going to hang on to this Verbank City Gym in case my opponent plays something. So let's go ahead. We're just gonna retreat, and I expect a Fairy Garden at some point. But here we go. We're gonna go for the blockade, locking our opponent from playing any supporters. And it's gonna take 13 turns to knock out this Xerneas, so 12 more at this point. Ooh, we see an energy switch. Oh boy, that's no good. We even see the Mega Gardevoir. I definitely don't want to see the Fairy Garden right now. That's gonna be very devastating. Now, we can use the AZ for the Jirachi if need be, but as of right now, I think we're just going to go with this here. I'm going to go with a Fire Energy here. You never know when we can get the Ninetales going. So, right now, I think what I want to do is just kind of prevent my opponent from using Geomancy any more than my opponent already has. So, let's go ahead. We're just going with the Team Flare Grunt there, get rid of the energy. And we'll go with the blockade once again. And in the next turn, if I don't see anything happen, what I'm going to do is just Exeggutor for the Juniper, play the Verbank City Gym, and kind of go on from there. Oh my goodness, 2 Mega Gardevoirs. Oh wow, that is just awful. So yeah, let's go ahead. We will go with this, and we'll go for the Exeggutor, getting a Juniper out here. And drawn into a new hand. We do get the Hypnotoxic Laser, so thank goodness we don't flip heads. But that's all right. So let's see. As of right now, I mean, I think what we can do is get another. Maybe we can get another Exeggutor going. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's just propagate. And I'm gonna play the Ultra Ball. What I can try to do is go for the Sprout, but at this point, like the Dragalge is already in the discard pile, and ooh, there is no. Okay, here's the Electrode. I could get Electro out. We could go for a Ninetales and drag out one of the. Let's see here. Darn, dang it! I wish. Well, we could always Hypnotoxic Laser this guy over here. Let's see. What I really want to do is bring out the Mega Gardevoir. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna get the Electrode. I think the Electrode would be a good long-term investment. And let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and just go for another blockade. Yeah, hit for 30. My opponent will pass out after this turn if my opponent can't retreat. Even my opponent plays, unless my opponent plays the what is it? Fairy Garden, but okay, there we go. The Xerneas is knocked out cold, and perfect. So, all right, this is gonna be the big play here. Big play. What we're gonna do is we're gonna propagate these guys into my hand. I'm gonna go for the Dowsing Machine. I'm gonna get rid of these two here, and let's go for the Ultra Ball. Getting the Ultra Ball back into our hand. We will go ahead and propagate them. These silly little eggs back into your hand once again. It's the convenience of using executes. Bring out the Ninetales. Here we go. So I don't want to bring out this one. My opponent only needs one more energy attachment to start attacking. So what I want to do is kind of wait and see if I can get into draw some more hammers, right? So let's go ahead. We will bring out this Mega Gardevoir, and we'll go with the Hypnotoxic Laser. And hopefully flip heads. Oh, no, we flip tails anyways. Let's see here. At some point, I mean, yeah. I mean, we can, maybe at some point we can stomp. I don't know. But now at least we have another energy we can retreat with. Let's see. I want to go ahead and Exeggutor for the Professor Juniper. And then, let's see here. Oh, I should have discarded the Muna. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll go for the Lysander's trump card, and then we'll go for the Magic Draw. I know my I should have propagated. Darn it! I should have propagated the Executes. Oh man, terrible play. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll just go for the blockade. Now, yeah, I should have propagated at least one Execute, put him on the bench, and should not have used the Lysander trump card. But my opponent does get some energy back into his deck, but we shouldn't be able to see much there. Okay, so darn it, we're gonna burn this hypnotoxic laser. Okay, I think I totally misplayed this. At least the Mega Gardevoir goes to sleep. Let's go for the Juniper here. We do get a Battle Compressor. We even get the Crushing Hammer. Let's go ahead. We'll play that. Ah, it's Tails. Darn it. Okay, I do want the Scralp, right? So I want to get the Dragalge, and that way we can lock the Mega Gardevoirs and stuff like that. Otherwise, we have a Grass Energy here. Not too sure what we'll use it for. Let's go ahead. We'll play the Battle Compressor. Bring a couple of these eggs out again, and let's see, another egg. Let's get rid of the Enhance Hammer. Don't want to see that. Don't want to draw into that at all. And okay, looks like we're good there. Do have VS-Seeker once again. And alright, we will just slowly but surely go for another blockade. And thank goodness the Mega Gardevoir stays asleep anyways. Not that it'll really matter. I think the Mega Gardevoir could have paid an energy to do the retreat cost, but there you go. My opponent just stays asleep. And oh, we get the Dragalge. Let's see. So I'm gonna play this energy here. That way we can stomp whenever we need to. Let's go for the Juniper, I suppose. That'd be a pretty good call. We even get the Muscle Band. That's very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Battle Compressor once again. Probably bring out. Let's see. What are some things we don't want to see? I mean, I want to discard the Team Flare Grunt. That way we can just use VS-Seeker, bring it back. I don't want to see another Vulpix. And I think I don't really need to see Virizion anymore either. My opponent doesn't play any special conditions, and we're not going to be using Muna. Though Muna could be pretty useful. Now I regret playing this Mr. Mime. Probably didn't need to play the Mr. Mime. This is probably the only dead card right now. But yeah, otherwise, let's go for the Blockade. That should do it against this Mega Gardevoir. My opponent could definitely get an energy going, but let's see here. What I want to do is VS-Seeker the Ninetales back into my hand. Or I mean, not VS-Seeker, AZ the Ninetales back into my hand. Let's go ahead. We will go with a Crushing Hammer. We do flip heads. Let's go and discard that. Might as well bring out these eggs back into my hand. And, oh man, try to play a Crushing Hammer once again. So let's go for heads. Oh, it's a Tails. Okay. Let's see here. I mean, you know, we can probably just kind of, everyone here has a 1 retreat cost, so I'm going to go ahead, just put a retreat cost here on the Electrode in case if we need to do that. But what I want to do is I want to play AZ right now, and in the next turn we should be able to evolve and bring out the Gardevoir. And we shouldn't be concerned about, N or anything to mess up our hand. So in the next turn, we will just go with the Ninetales, bring out the Mega Gardevoir. Ooh, we even get another Crushing Hammer. That's a Tails. That's a bummer, but here we go. We get the Mega Gardevoir out here. We even get the energy drop onto the Ninetales. And let's see. I'm going to propagate these guys into my hand. Let's see here. Let's see, we got, I could probably go for a Lysander's trump card right now just to get a couple of the resources back. That's definitely an option. Let's see. We got to take a look at my opponents here. It's just energies, stuff that I don't really care for if my opponent got it or not. So tough decision here. Sure, why the heck not? Let's just go for it. We'll bring back one of our lasers, and yeah, let's go for the Blockade. All right. Hopefully my opponent does not. Thank goodness we were able to discard one of the energies. That way we definitely slowed our opponent down. And oh, this is very inconvenient. So we still have at least one more VS-Seeker. I'm going to go ahead and just discard my hand. There it is. There is the Hypnotoxic Laser that I needed. Once again, we'll just play the Battle Compressor, get rid of a couple things. Maybe the AZ and Team Flare Grunt, and also the Enhanced Hammer. Don't need to see that anymore. I'll probably just keep the Team Flare Grunt. We could get rid of the Virizion. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, we really don't have much to do here except for just going for a blockade. At some point, I will finish it with a stomp, I guess. But the Xerneas would be... My opponent still has a Xerneas over here. Wow, man, this is pretty devastating for my opponent. And my opponent just passes the turn. We will just keep going for the blockade here. poor Mega Gardevoir. There's no chance right now. My opponent can still play an energy to do the retreat cost, but otherwise my opponent wouldn't be able to do much else from there. And now I kind of wish I had an AZ. Oh, there we go. My opponent can play the retreat cost. And the Mega Gardevoir EX would be in jeopardy here, even on the bench. So I'll definitely need to do... Oh, okay, never mind. My opponent concedes. Oh, the writing was on the wall, and that was it. That was such a long, painful match. That was fun, though. So I probably made a million mistakes there, but you can see the power of Exeggutor just locking our opponent and making it very troublesome for our opponent. So, I don't know. Let's go ahead. We'll play one more match here. I don't know how much more time I have, but we'll take a look and see what we can do on Pokemon TCG Online. Okay, looks like we're going against Debelski. It is a Metal and Psychic, and oh no, I've gone for Tails and was Heads. Ah, darn it. We can't evolve first. That is a huge bummer. This deck heavily relies on going first with all these evolutions. Ooh, hey, it's a mirror match here, folks. Talk about a boring matchup. We start off with a Mr. Mime. Oh, that is depressing. And, okay, so let's see. Yes, I'd like to draw. We do get a Vulpix. We can do that. Oh, my opponent has a Genesect. So we can actually one-shot the Genesect if we can get the Vulpix evolved into Ninetales. That would be pretty cool. Otherwise, okay, we see the Team Plasma energy here. The Vulpix definitely in trouble. Getting red signaled out. I probably should have held on to the Vulpix, but you never know. I mean, my opponent could definitely have played an N or something like that. So this is right now who can evolve first and who can, you know, get the ball rolling first. But what I'm going to do is, well, at least what I'd like to do is probably get a Muna out. So with the mirror match like this, it's very, yeah, it's actually very crucial to get Muna going. But let's go ahead. We will discard these guys. That is a huge bummer. We got one Exeggutor here. That's it. Two Exeggutors. Oh, that's good. Do we want to get the Muna out? Do we have Muna? We do have Muna. So the challenge here is, do we get Muna or Execute? I'm going to go with the Execute. And that way we can just discard it. And oh dear. Let's see here. We have the Verbank City Gym. I'm assuming my opponent plays that as well. And okay. We'll go with our Execute. I'm going to hang on to this Muscle Band. I'm going to hang on to... Basically, I'm going to hang on to everything else. We might as well play the Verbank City Gym. And I'm going to end the turn there. Oh, man. I kind of wish we had the Hypnotoxic Laser and the Ninetales ready. So, in the next turn, we would be able to just one-shot the Genesect. We see a Plasma Energy play onto the Execute on the bench. My opponent can definitely retreat and evolve right now into... Oh, no, it's happening, guys. It's going to happen here, folks. Oh, no. Probably shouldn't have played my Verbank City Gym. I totally regret playing it. Oh, man. Should have definitely held on to that. My opponent can actually Hypnotoxic Laser the Mr. Mime and hit us for 10. Oh, wait, we see the Virizion. So it's going to be a little inconvenient with the Muna. Okay, my opponent goes for a Professor Sycamore, knowing that I can use Hypnotoxic Laser on the Exeggutor. And I guess my opponent's going to retreat, and the Exeggutor is going to go for a Blockade, hitting us for 10. We have yet to see a Muscle Band or anything like that. No more Hypnotoxic Laser, really, with the Verdant Wind. Basically going to be very inconvenient for us with using Hypnotoxic Laser. But right now it still works since we don't have my opponent doesn't have a Grass Energy on the Exeggutor. Pretty soon we won't be able to use our Crushing Hammers or our supporters. Hopefully we can still play Crushing Hammer. That would be pretty nice. There it is. There is the Exeggutor. Taking away our supporters. And that's 10 on the Mr. Mime. Just got to wait and see. Ooh, we do get the Ninetales. And if my opponent doesn't have... so the question here is, do we want to put it on the Ninetales? I think we do. Let's go ahead. I will discard the Juniper. Can't really use that anyways. And let's go ahead. We will, getting the Voltorb is a really good choice. Oh no, are you kidding me? No Ninetales. Ninetales is prized. And let's go with the Muna. Maybe Muna can buy us a turn. My opponent only has 3 cards. So let's go. Hopefully we flip heads. And yes, we did flip heads. I'm going to end the turn. And if my opponent... Oh, my opponent stays asleep. If my opponent doesn't have a grass energy, we can buy a turn. Oh, man, that is exciting. See the difference that Muna does. Muna is definitely a huge difference maker, especially in these kind of mirror matches, even with a Virizion EX. My opponent doesn't have a grass energy. We can buy us a turn and use our supporter. Oh, wow, that is absolutely fabulous. Thank you, Muna. My opponent goes for a Sycamore. Oh, no, here comes the grass energy. If my opponent has the grass energy... Oh no, we wouldn't be able to really, the Muna, the long distance hypnosis wouldn't be really valid. And my opponent plays a Starling Megaphone. We see a Crushing Hammer going for tails. Those things are very scary. Never know when those things are going to flip heads. But if my opponent passes the turn, we can go ahead and VS Seeker for a Juniper. And, oh man, we haven't seen my opponent play any Muscle Bands or anything yet. Sad to say, we will end up discarding our Sun and Megaphone if my opponent doesn't have the energy. This is, oh no, there it is. What was with the pause, making it so climactic? Oh no, and now we don't have much of an answer. There it is. There's 10, and that locks us up. We do have the Crushing, the Enhanced Hammer. Not that that's going to be anything useful. We will get rid of this, I guess. As right now, it's pretty useless. I'm going to end the turn. We can gnaw for 60. That can work. Oh, man. There is no way out of this. The Mr. Mime will go down. My opponent's only got 3 cards. And there's the Mr. Mime slowly, just taking those hits. We will end the turn. I have a Muscle Band and a VS Secret that is useless. But the Mr. Mime, it was our starting Pokemon. We didn't really have a choice because that's what we top deck, and we didn't have anything else. We did top deck the Vulpix on our first turn when we drew, but it was a shame that we had to start with the Mr. Mime. This game could have been very different if we didn't have that. Otherwise, we got to wait for a Crushing Hammer to use our Hypnotoxic Laser. My opponent's only at 4 cards, and we are at 4 cards. We do have a Virizion EX on our side as well, so we can probably play that right there and end the turn. Oh man, this is so devastating. Both sides our bench are basically the same. We see what does my opponent play? A random receiver going for a Professor Sycamore. Oh man, this could be pretty devastating. We could see something like a 2 Crushing Hammers right now. My opponent's only played 1 so far, and 2 Enhanced Hammers. All right. Okay, so we see here. Oh, we flipped heads. Darn it. Oh, we should have held on to the energy until we really needed it. Oh man. We don't have a Crushing Hammer of our own. This is a huge bummer going second. This is going to be a really long and boring match. Oh man, too boring for my taste. But the game has to go on. I mean, this could boil down to be a 50-minute match. My opponent can run out of time and lose. That's definitely an option there. So we'll have to wait and see if my opponent can take all 6 prizes with this method. My opponent doesn't have a, the Hypnotoxic Laser. This will definitely be a much slower match. We can see my opponent does not have any more supporters. Oh, that is interesting. No more supporters for my opponent. No, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4 Sycamores. No more supporters. My opponent is just at 3 cards, and that's it, guys. So what I want to do is, let's see. What's going to take my opponent the longest, right? So I'll probably just promote the Virizion EX. It's going to take my opponent a very long time. Now I regret. I probably should have just played the Exeggutor here. But nothing else really works at this point. No long distance hypnosis, no hypnotoxic laser. I mean, we just got to promote the Virizion and just have my opponent take 17 turns to knock it out. Oh wait, I forgot to play the Starling Megaphone. Darn it, totally forgot to play the Starling Megaphone. We see my opponent go for the Plasma Energy. We see the Hypnotoxic Laser, and there we go. Our poor Exeggutor is asleep. It doesn't really matter. My opponent doesn't play any more supporters. We didn't even see a Lysander's trump card unless my opponent drew it off of the prizes. But that's it. We'll wake up, but let's see. Let's go with the Enhanced Hammer. We do get heads. Let's get rid of that. Let's go for a Hypnotoxic Laser. We flip tails. I'm going to go ahead and go get rid of this Starling Megaphone. We'll go with that. Let's go for the Hypnosis. We did put the stinking Exeggutor to sleep. Hopefully my opponent does not have an energy. My opponent ends up passing the turn. Let's just cross our fingers. If my opponent has a switch, that would help my opponent as well. Otherwise, if my opponent passes the turn, we could see a big swing. My Exeggutor will go down, but hopefully, what we can do is probably promote the Vulpix. If we can draw into a Fire Energy, we would be able to knock it out, hit for 60. That's definitely an option there. But okay, we see a Muscle Band. I think my opponent's got the energy. My opponent's got the VS Seeker. Oh no. Getting a Professor Sycamore back into his hand. My opponent has already played 2 VS Seekers. My opponent has 2 more VS Seekers. My opponent could deck out. My opponent does not have a Lysander's trump card, so my opponent definitely can just deck out. But okay, so this is gonna be really tricky here. I think what I want to do is promote the Virizion EX. We see a Headringer there. It doesn't really matter. We don't use Virizion EX. But okay, so my opponent has the energy. Yeah. Oh dear. My opponent, I think, is making this very climactic. He's making it very exciting for us. Otherwise, we should probably see the energy by now. But I'm assuming my opponent has the energy. I think it's because my opponent just wants to make it very dramatic for us to kind of hold our breath or something like that. We see the Battle Compressor maybe going for, I'm not too sure. Let's see, we got 1, 2 executes. Maybe another execute. I don't know. We have one more. Oh, never mind. Both the executes are in the active spot. Let's see. My opponent discarded a VS Seeker. That is interesting. Wait, really? Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 VS Seekers are discarded. Okay, so there we go. My poor Execute has been knocked out. What to do here? We can definitely promote the Virizion, or I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to promote the Vulpix. I want to see if I can. I got another Vulpix on the bench. Let's go ahead. We will play. Let's see. I can probably just. I can just gnaw and take him out. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna go for the Juniper. Finally, being able to draw into a ton of more cards. We have a Super Scoop Up. We do have the Grass Energy. Let's see here. Do we have anything else that we really need here? Probably not. We do have the Battle Compressor as well. Let's go ahead. My opponent should knock out after this turn. And let's see. My opponent shouldn't be able to do too much else. We got a Hypnotoxic Laser. I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. We can definitely propagate these guys back into our hand. And we will go and discard these 2. Go for the Crushing Hammer. Just hang on to that. I know my opponent doesn't play N, so we're going to hang on to this until the next turn. If this Exeggutor comes up, we'll just discard the energy and Hypnotoxic Laser it. So I'm going to save it for that. That way, if we play the hammer now, my opponent can just play another energy, and then we won't get a chance to use Hypnotoxic Laser. So that's kind of the idea behind that. Let's just go for the Gnaw, taking out this stinking Exeggutor. We do get the AZ off the prizes. That's not exactly what we want to see. What I wanted to see was a Ninetales. I think that would have been really convenient for us. But as of right now, all we have to hope for is the Vulpix. We can definitely go for a Roar and cause our opponent to switch. But no, our poor Vulpix will get knocked out with the Hypnotoxic Laser. Too bad the Grass Energy doesn't work here. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here. Let's go with the Vulpix with the Muscle Band. We can definitely go for a Roar. That's always an option. But okay, so let's go with this. We flip tails. Oh, are you kidding me? Let's go ahead. We'll use propagation right there. And I'm going to go with the Grass Energy. I'm going to hang on to that in case my opponent does something. Otherwise, I think what I want to do right now is probably just sit tight. I think this Vulpix will get knocked out, and that would be a bit of a shame. let's see. Oh boy. I want to hang on to the Vulpix because we could get the Ninetales from the prize cards. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna go with the Super Scoop Up. Let's scoop up the Ninetales. I'm gonna give up the Muna. If my opponent has the Hypnotoxic Laser, then so be it. But I really want to hang on to the Vulpix. That way we can use Ninetales. And Muna right now is not that valuable for me, especially with the Verzian on the bench. And yeah, so okay, we're just gonna hang on to our hand right there. I'm gonna end the turn, and I wouldn't mind having Muna knockout right now. So Muna's gonna get knocked out. Okay, totally cool with that. We shouldn't see an end. Our hand should be pretty safe. Yeah, I think that's about it. So my opponent has already played 3 Hypnotoxic Lasers all around. Oh my goodness, my opponent is ahead in prizes, but we should be able to promote the Execute and start locking our opponent right now. So let's go ahead. We will go with this, and this is just going to be a back and forth battle. It's going to be really dull, really boring, really fast. Let's go ahead. We're going to thin out our deck a little bit. Here's some things that I don't want to draw into since we're just going to get our stuff locked up anyways. Let's see. I don't want to draw into the Lysander's trump card. Let's see. Yeah, let's just get rid of these Junipers. We'll get rid of the Verbank City Gem. Okay, so there we go. We'll get rid of those. And we'll go for the Blockade. Oh, there we go. Who's going to... My opponent's down to 3 cards, so I might be able to deck him out. If my opponent has the Lysander's trump card, then probably got it off the prize cards. Oh no! Crushing Hammer. How many does he have left? 1, 2, 3, 4 Crushing Hammers are already gone. I shouldn't worry too much about those. We see a we have a red signal. Can definitely bring out the Vulpix. That way my opponent can still use a Hypnotoxic Laser. 1, 2, 3. 3 Hypnotoxic Lasers are already in the discard pile. My opponent should still have another one. It can definitely knock out the Vulpix. And, oh man, that's going to be devastating. Our Ninetales was in the prize card, so we couldn't use it. And that's it, 30 damage onto the Vulpix. We do get a Grass Energy here, which we can retreat and just go with a Blockade. Let's take a look here. My opponent has 2 Plasma Energies in the discard pile. That's it. No more red signals. And unless my opponent plays Lysander, my Vulpix should be safe. Now, the Exeggutor here can hit ours, but we'll just, hit the Exeggutor back. And this is just going to be a long back and forth battle here, guys. I'm going to go with the Crushing Hammer, and we flip heads. And this is going to be a knockout right here, guys. Knocking out the Exeggutor. Oh boy, there we go. We can even get another Crushing Hammer. How many Crushing Hammers have we used already? 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2. That's it. Okay, 2. We got 2 left. Alrighty then. My opponent can definitely get another egg back, but we have 1, 2, 3 Exeggutors already in the discard pile. What? Oh no. Oh boy, this is going to be a close call. We should be able to use our VS Seeker for Juniper. That'd be pretty good. Otherwise, AZ is not really helpful here. We'll end up discarding our only energy card that we have. We play 3 grass energies, so that means we still have 1 left in the deck. But that's kind of a risky chance there. And I'm going to hang on to the Crushing Hammer. Let's go ahead. We're going to play the Voltorb over here. And darn, we don't have something like a Shadow Triad to kind of bring anything back. So let's go ahead. We'll just go for a Blockade. I really wish we had the Hypnotoxic Laser in hand. My opponent right there drew his last card. He may deck out right here. And oh no. Let's see. Ninetales has, what is it? There we go. So there, I just kind of gave him my deck analysis if he was interested. And let's see here. My opponent has a Voltorb, and that's it. All right, GG. My opponent decks out, and that's it. We'll go with the Hypnotoxic Laser, and let's even get rid of a... never mind. But we'll just blockade, and my opponent decks out. We didn't even get to use the Ninetales because Ninetales was prized, but we actually could have used Ninetales because we had both the AZ and we had Super Scoop Up that we could have used on it. Yeah, his trump card was prized. Oh yeah, that's 18 minutes, and I'm getting pretty hungry. I think it's time for dinner for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you guys think. My opponent questions the same thing: why a Ninetales? And definitely Ninetales could have been very effective right here because of the type weakness. If I was able to, you know, if you imagine if I had Ninetales ready, I could have brought out Genesect, or I could have brought out Virizion and Hypnotoxic Laser the Virizion, since Virizion EX didn't have any grass energy, and then I could have one-shotted the Virizion EX, right, with a Muscle Band, because that would have been 90 damage times 2, 180, right? So even if I flipped tails on the Hypnotoxic Laser, that would have been one shot. But if I flipped heads, then that would have been even better. So let me know what you guys think of this deck. Definitely Muna was kind of a long shot. Get it? Long shot. Hypnosis. Okay. But if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do give this video a thumbs up. I'll have some more Pokemon TCG Online videos for you guys soon. You guys take care. Have a good day. Goodbye.